What's up guys, my name's Petey from Charlie Intel. So could Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 or World at War 2 actually happen? Well, that's a question that many of us have been asking for several years now, and we're not really any closer to finding out. We're still pretty much in the dark as to whether we'll ever see those two games released in the Call of Duty franchise. So in this video, I'm going to go over why it's becoming ever more possible, in theory, that Modern Warfare 4 and World at War 2 will be released in the next few years in the Call of Duty franchise. Now, just as a heads up, for those of you interested in the topic of future Call of Duties, I also have another video alongside this on my channel titled Why Call of Duty 2017 Likely Won't Be Based in the Future. I do recommend checking it out, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to watch that after this video also. So Call of Duty as a game and as a franchise is hugely successful. It's essentially a massive game, and I think many of us underestimate as to just how big of an impact it has on the gaming industry. Some of us think it's just Call of Duty every year, but it's still one of the best-selling games released every single year, despite the fact they release a new game every 12 months. And obviously things aren't necessarily changing too much. It's still performing amazingly well, and as a franchise it's incredibly successful. Now, it all kind of started, of course, back in 2003, but it really propelled around 2007 with the release of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare by Infinity Ward, and ever since then it's been on an upward trend in terms of player numbers, player retention, all that kind of stuff, and it's just ever growing, until recently, that is, where there's been a slight downward trend in terms of satisfaction towards the franchise, and just how many people are actually buying the game overall has actually decreased somewhat as well in recent years. So according to several sources online, the list you're looking at right now represents the top 10 best-selling Call of Duty titles in the franchise. Now, don't take it as 100% accurate, because of course it's very difficult to find the official figures online, but this is fairly close to what it is in terms of actual sales figures and how they rank between each other within the franchise. So coming in at number 1 is, of course, Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 was a huge release, and it broke an incredible amount of records when it was actually released in 2011. Then coming in at number 2 is Black Ops, released in 2010, also a very successful game and the start of the Black Ops series within the franchise. Then Black Ops 2 came along in 2012, that's ranked number 3 in terms of sales. Interestingly, coming in at number 4 is, of course, Call of Duty Ghosts, released in 2013. Now, my theory behind that is because, number 1, the marketing for that game was actually pretty impressive, and number 2, people assume that the game would be great given the fact, of course, just before that, Infinity Ward gave us Modern Warfare 3, which was the best-selling game in the franchise. So confidence in Infinity Ward is quite high within the franchise, and therefore I believe that people bought Ghosts on the intention and the belief that it was going to be as good as Modern Warfare 3, if not better. What people think about Call of Duty Ghosts is, of course, personal preference. But moving on, we have Modern Warfare 2 coming in at position 5, released in 2009. Then we have Black Ops 3, released in 2015, taking position 6. I'm not sure that's overly accurate, as Black Ops 3 hasn't announced official figures in terms of sales online, so it may have actually done a lot better than that, but right now, according to several sources, it's position 6 on the leaderboard. Then we have position 7 going to Advanced Warfare, released in 2014, followed by Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, released in 2007, taking position 8. Then we have World at War in 2008, taking position 9. And lastly, we have Call of Duty 3, released in 2006, taking position 10. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that the majority of the games in that list belong to a series within the franchise. So essentially, most of the games either belong to the Modern Warfare series or the Black Ops series, aside from some exceptions such as Call of Duty Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and so on. But the majority, if not most of them, belong to either Modern Warfare or the Black Ops series within the Call of Duty franchise. Now, technically speaking, both of those series have come to an end. So we had Modern Warfare 3, which is the finale of the Modern Warfare series, and we have Black Ops 3, which is technically speaking the finale of the Black Ops series also. So essentially, those two massive series within the franchise have now come to an end, and they were technically, I guess you could say, the driving force of the sales within the Call of Duty franchise for the last 10 years. So theoretically speaking, they are the reason as to why Call of Duty is so big to this day, because of those series and because of how powerful their storylines were and the overall hype around those particular series within the franchise. Call of Duty is as big as it is right now because of those particular series, and now technically they've come to an end and they're no longer the case at all within the franchise. So clearly, a series within the franchise is incredibly important to Activision and to the franchise itself. As you can see, these series really drive momentum in terms of fan excitement, the hype, the sales, all that kind of stuff. So having a series that actually is successful in the franchise is incredibly important, and it really actually benefits us in general also, because if the games are actually really good and they have a great storyline, then I'm all for sequels, much like we've seen with Modern Warfare and Black Ops in the past also. So if we take a look at the franchise right now, we don't really have any active series within the franchise itself. So we have Infinite Warfare releasing this year by Infinity Ward, And if I'm honest, I really can't see Infinite Warfare 2 actually happening in 2019. I think the reception for this game has been potentially too negative for it to warrant a second release in 2019. Sledgehammer Games are working on their next release in 2017. We have no idea what that is, but of course that could be the start of another series within the franchise, potentially, depending on its reception in the franchise also. And then of course we have Treyarch releasing their game in 2018. We have no idea what that is. I can't really see it being Black Ops 4. I think it'll be a completely new series into the franchise. But ultimately, unless a second actual game comes from this first game they release in the next 2 years from Sledgehammer Games and Treyarch, we won't see a series, and therefore we're back to square one. So really, the only thing that's actually left right now in terms of momentum from a series existing in the franchise is, of course, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, and potentially World at War also. So the next few years are going to be very interesting for the franchise. There are many theories as to what's going to happen. Some people say that the game is going to become a free-to-play perhaps in the next few years if a few releases just don't do very well and the downturn of sales continues to the point where it makes more sense to release a free-to-play game and make extras as paid for items, that kind of model, instead of releasing a $60 game every year and with DLC packs and that kind of thing as well. I honestly don't know where it's going to go, but if there are a few releases that don't perform very well and the downturn continues, I can honestly see Activision responding by going as far as to giving us Modern Warfare 4 or perhaps World at War 2 to try and rejuvenate the franchise and bring back the core fan base to the franchise and ultimately restart the series that many of us loved from the original Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 released many years ago. That is, of course, a theory. I'm not saying this is fact, but of course, they're giving us a remaster of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, something I thought would never happen. And if I'm honest, I don't really think they wanted to do that necessarily, but because of the Infinite Warfare reception, I imagine they pre-planned this to try and get the sales and pre-orders up to obviously sell more copies, because of course the reception for space games isn't so great, and with Infinite Warfare really pushing the boundaries in terms of going to space, I imagine that Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered was a response to try and getting more sales into the franchise. And honestly, I don't think that's the end of big changes coming from Activision in terms of bold changes and bold releases from them in the future. Anyway guys, that's everything for this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section below. Let me know if you'd like to see Modern Warfare 4 or World at War 2 or perhaps another game into the franchise, continuing on from a previous Call of Duty title, for example Advanced Warfare or perhaps even Ghosts. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and you're excited for Modern Warfare Remastered and potentially Modern Warfare 4 in the future. And as always, subscribe for further Charlie Inter content every 1 to 2 days on this channel. Thanks for watching guys, see you in the next one, goodbye.